Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Witch Talk. My name is Audrey, and your Witch Talk wizard. And today, I actually have a special guest. I have Baby Pisces. Hi, Ashley.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm blessed. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm tired. I need more caffeine.
I was off work today.
Oh, my Lanta. I love it.
So
I
that
love
was
it.
good.
Everyone loves being off the work. Okay. So, today we're going to go over our sex series, and we decided that through our personal experiences that's happened within our lives, that we're going to go over consent. Because Lord knows people don't understand what consent means anymore.
At all.
So we decided that instead of fussing about consent and just letting y'all wander around blind of what consent is, we're going to help you.
And explaining it.
Exactly. We're going to educate you in the vast, hard subject of what consent is. I like your nose ring.
Thank you.
Welcome.
It's a moon. It matches my moon.
I like that. I want to get that pierced, but the ADD squad, ladies and gentlemen. So, the definition of consent is permission for something to happen or agreement to do something. Okay. Sounds pretty easy.
Very straightforward.
Yep, very straightforward. And of course, a different type of consent, and I'm going to explain to it like this. And we're going to talk about in relationships. We're not going to talk about medical or anything along those lines because that don't apply here. Because the medical, we're not doctors. Are we doctors?
I'm not.
I'm not either.
I mean, I can only
I'm a
speak
witch
for
doctor.
myself. I'm definitely not a doctor in any form.
Exactly. So we're only going to go over socially and what we know, since now we are consent experts. So,
Consent experts.
exactly, we're the consent
Professionals.
experts. Yes, professionals. So, we have come up with, as easy as we possibly could, the 4 levels of consent. Now, the first level of consent, you gotta think of it like degrees, like murder. There are levels to this, okay? The first level of consent is a high five, a handshake.
Yes.
High five.
See?
Don't forget to hand sanitize, people. Sharing is caring unless it's germs or STDs. By the way, this is not child appropriate, in case you haven't realized. And this is like a light touch. For example, if you have an acquaintance that you've hanging out with a couple of times, or it's that family member that you're related to, you just don't know how or don't know their real name, because everyone has one, or multiple. It's just like, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, it's like, oh my
Gosh, it's so good to see you. Yeah, so good to see you.
Or even,
Or even like a shoulder pat.
maybe you haven't seen somebody in a very long time, like the awkward side hug, but sometimes that's all you really need to do.
Exactly. Like the handshake, the high five, the awkward granny hug, like shoulder pat. And let me tell you, when the first level of consent, and you have the first level consent, there are certain places you do not have overall consent to touch different parts of the body. Okay. So that is not level 1. Your level 1 membership does not give you access to touch her arm, her shoulder, or his arm, his shoulder.
I mean, at least not in a, aggressive manner. Like,
Exactly.
Be like,
and it all depends on the person. Me, my love language is touch. So I don't mind being touched by people that I know and I care about and I give permission to.
But God forbid a stranger in the store just come up behind me while I'm waiting in line with my groceries, my mangoes and pineapples, and they're just like, oh, hello, how are you doing? And I don't know this person. Why are you touching me? Get your hands off of me. Don't touch me.
I need to bleach my skin.
Exactly.
Where's the last
I
song?
don't know what you've been doing.
Exactly. So, it's always, the rule of thumb when it comes to sin, it's always best to ask. Okay? That's something that is lost in this generation.
Now, level 2?
Level 2. Level 2. We call this the BFF level.
More like, yes.
Exactly. A kiss on the cheek, light booty touches. You can touch her arms, her hands. These are the people that you have a stronger sense of intimacy with. Like, for example, I would say we're on level 2.
Yeah, like there's more. It's clear consent. Like I don't have to ask to hug you or anything like that. And
Exactly,
every time
along
I see
those
you,
lines.
it's instant love. I mean, if that's the scenario and you know that you and this person have that connection and bond, clear to say, that's okay. But do not, if you and this person, you and this person is not comfortable with that, you sense it, don't do it. You may not sense it, but just don't do something.
And if you can't sense it, if your radar is broken, use your words. Like I tell my toddlers that I babysit, use your words.
The best way to sense things is to actually communicate it, because then in the future they will know.
I think it's nice to go over what is not considered consent.
That too, yes.
Okay. Let's go over that before we get to level 3. Okay? What is consent? Okay? Is when someone says that they want to do, telling you they want to do something, or they desire to participate in something. Like, I would like a hug.
Yes. Then you can get a hug. But let's say I'm in an angry mood, and you just come and start hugging and smothering me. I have a form of claustrophobia, and I don't like being touched at times, so I might just freak out and be like, I don't want to be touched, don't touch me. But another time, it might be a loving sense.
Exactly. These are times to talk about it. Now, what is not consent? Just assuming that you know this person, you have the right to touch them. Assuming that buying them dinner, drinks, a present is in exchange for some sort of physical activity.
It's not right.
Because by accepting your free drink, which who doesn't love free, that they're consenting to do whatever you have laid out for them. When someone asks you to hang out, does not mean they want to participate sometimes it should be illegal. It depends.
In extracurricular activities with you.
Exactly. That consent is not by clothing or breathing or smiling or expectation or talking or flirting or accepting on a date.
Flirting, and that really needs to be talked about. Even if you and this person are alone, and let's say you're hanging out, like she said, hanging out is not consent. Y'all can even be flirting, just because y'all might be close friends, and y'all do that.
Flirting is good for the skin.
Y'all have never done anything. Y'all have never even...
Or even if you have done something.
Maybe even if you have, even at that, you can't just assume, like you said.
Exactly. And okay. The times when...
Oh no, your phone's...
It's fine. The times when consent is an automatic no. When alcohol is involved and extreme amounts have been ingested.
And that can trigger flirting, and flirting doesn't always mean they want you.
Exactly. Hell, when I drink, I flirt with her.
It doesn't matter. You flirt with everybody. You probably don't even mean to.
Well, that's true. Okay. Damn Scorpios. When other substances are involved. Okay. When one is sleeping.
Definitely not.
When one is... What else? Think of all the,
possibilities. There's so many horrible horror stories we could go into, but y'all know the gist. Simply, communicating with people is probably
If
the best
someone
way to ask
cannot
consent.
exactly, if someone cannot give you a firm yes or no, it's an automatic no. And this is the best way I can describe it. Okay? And I saw this in a meme. Meme can be very educational. So, let's say sex is tea. Okay? And okay. This is my teacup. Okay? It's full of tea. Now, she's awake. She is conscious. Are you breathing?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. So, because remember, necrophilia is a thing. Would you like some tea?
Yes, I would like some tea. And then
Exactly. That is consent. Okay? That is a proper consent yes formula.
no.
Pretend to be asleep. Without waking her up, I cannot offer her tea. Okay? And it is wrong for me to force this tea down her throat and drink it. Okay. You're awake now. Okay. Pretend like you're drunk. Okay.
I lean over everything.
Okay. So, she is definitely not in her right mind. Okay? And I offer her, she cannot give a conscious answer of yes or no. Because let me tell you something. You're going to drown. Because let me tell you something. If something happens and she says yes, that could still be rape because she's intoxicated. No.
Exactly. See? You just seen it.
Exactly. And also, some of y'all stupid. You don't realize that these people that you don't know their medical history. You don't know if they are dirty as hell. You don't know. And I'm just not talking about like having STDs or stuff or AIDS. You know, you're trying to pick people up and drug them and shit. Like, you don't know what their medical history is. You could be catching the Black Plague and then dying the next day. Dumbasses. Okay. So, let's say she's drinking her tea. Okay, you drinking tea? Okay. And she has half left. And she doesn't want the rest of her tea. Don't force her to drink the tea. Okay, then you don't have to drink the tea. Okay? Let's say she's had tea before. That we've had tea before together. I do not automatically assume if she wants tea.
I can ask.
Exactly. Don't automatically assume. Because people like mini
Now,
beverages.
if it's tradition, let's say you always go to your auntie's house and y'all always eat snickerdoodles together. Don't get mad when she makes snickerdoodles and the house is hot. Come on now, she already knows what's going on.
But here's the deal. She can have the snickerdoodles there, but you don't have to eat them. Kind of like my husband has a penis, but I don't always have to put it in my mouth.
Oh, yeah, true.
Told you, not appropriate for children.
Now,
Okay.
what else are we
Now,
to talk about?
let's talk about level 3. Level 3 is what I would call the romantic level, okay? Romantic level is going towards kissing, hand-holding, caressing, you know, touching, exactly. Touching a more intimate areas like the thighs, the stomachs, not the no-no squares. If underwear can go there, it's a no square.
Undergarments, period.
Exactly. So bras, underwear. Some people don't even like their feet being touched, and I
Yeah,
think
that's even a little weird. Like, that's also an undergarment.
that's an undergarment. The consent committee has ruled that's an undergarment. Okay. But in that, so for example, if me and you were dating,
Okay.
Okay? And I see her, it'll be appropriate for me to kiss her forehead or kiss her lips because we're dating and I have that blanket consent. And that's what it's called. Blanket consent is when you have someone and it's now an expectation for you to show them different types of physical affection.
Now, when we say dating, we must specify with that as well. Dating, if you have went on a date with this person a few times, y'all haven't made it specific that y'all are significant others and that you are an item or an individual.
If there is a commitment
couple.
involved.
Exactly.
Even with when I was just friends with benefits with people, there are certain times to act friends and there are certain times to act the benefits. And you ask. For instance, I have one friend with benefit is that he didn't like PDA in public. So we just acted like bros.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
Exactly. It all depends on the person. Now we get to the level 4. Level 4, you must ask for every act. This is when I'm about to get real. If she consents for y'all to have sex with a condom, do not take it off. If she consents to have sex vaginally, it does not mean you can also put it in her ass. Or his ass.
Whoever.
Exactly. Insert pronoun here. Okay? It is not okay to just assume because that makes you an ass, that gets you STDs, that gets you AIDS, and also that might get you to knock the fuck out. Oh, back to the tea scenario. If she asks for tea and she drinks her tea, drink her tea. Okay. Do you have to go to the bathroom now?
No.
Go to the bathroom.
I don't have to.
Go to the bathroom.
Okay.
So she's going to the bathroom. This... No, you don't really have to go to the bathroom.
I know.
Okay. This...
She said no.
Now come back and drink your tea.
Come back and drink my tea. I went to the bathroom.
That is not consent. Date rape drug is not a consent. And coming from someone that has been date raped, if you are so low down and pathetic and disgusting that no woman in this world, that you cannot win a woman just by being who you are, and you have to consort to intimidation, rape, date rape drugs, bribery. It's stupid. This is why I think sex work should be legal, because even if I don't want to have sex with you, it's still a need that needs to be met. And she pays that $500 to go enjoy the company of someone of her choice, who's clean and safe and has a license, and she goes about her merry way. That's just my personal opinion. Do you agree with this?
Somewhat. We can agree to disagree. I have my points where, of course, I disagree with everyone on something.
I would like to hear this, actually. This would be good stuff.
So, sex work. The only thing I think that I would disagree on it, the most part about it becoming legal, would be the effect on women when they are too emotionally drawn to the connection they may form with a partner.
With a client?
Yes, with a partner, client, whatever. Yes, client. Yes, that, and then they can also, their self-worth can deter. They can feel that. If they're not as confident in their self, it happens. You know, they may start out strong, and then later on, the long-term effects it may have, they may not be comfortable with what they've done with themselves.
That's true. And, you know, it depends on the person. Honestly, I've worked in the sex industry. I was a stripper and a burlesque dancer for a very long time. And yeah, it can be like that, but it all depends on the person. Just like, and here's my point. If you have a construction worker who sells his body as physical labor, which is, it's true, he's selling his body, that if it's starting to wear and tear on his soul, switch careers.
A lot of time that doesn't happen, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have a good point.
And that's why we need, and that's why we need to promote mental health and thinking that it's okay and not letting the world being run by money, but being run by people. You know, if, like, when I was a stripper, I got a lot of things from stripping. I got a lot of things for being a burlesque dancer. And one of the things that I got, especially after I was highly abused as a young lady and after my rape, I went to stripping because I wanted something to do. I already had a full-time job. I was financially stable. I just bought a house. But I wanted to find myself again. And of course, because of my daddy issues, I have hypersexuality anyway. So, and with burlesque and with stripping, I found my confidence. I found my charisma. I was breaking out of my shell, and I became the woman that I wanted to be.
You felt empowered, right?
Exactly.
Because basically what you did is you took the power that men gave you by being attracted to your body, and you turned it around, and you were able to make money off of it, which is what the world does.
Exactly. But here's the deal. Men, if a man wants her body, but if a woman tries to make money off of it, it's wrong. Like OnlyFans.
Exactly.
Everyone's saying OnlyFans is prostitution. Baby, you ain't touching me.
Like, if dudes are gonna stare at me anyway, I might as well give them a show and get some money out of it.
Exactly. He might as well be paying a bill. That's why I don't think sugar babying is wrong.
Exactly.
I was a sugar baby.
I've been a sugar baby.
And
I don't really talk about it.
But here's the deal. Me as a sugar baby, what I did truly enjoy is that the man that we're going to call him Mr. Sir. I call all my mystery men Mr. Sirs. Mr. Sir was an older gentleman, 50s and 60s. He was divorced, very big in corporate, very big in Atlanta, and he wanted a young lady to spool and to be affectionate with, and it was like level 3. Okay, level 3 on the consent. And that's something that we talked about and that grew with our relationship. Okay?
And that's how mine was too. It was all level 3. Just like maybe a kiss, not even on my lips really. I'm not into that. You can give me a kiss on my cheek. We can go, out to eat.
Exactly.
Show me
Cuddle.
off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what, and they wanted with Mr. Sir, it was the companionship that he wanted. He wanted someone to spool, someone to love, someone to really spend time with.
And, one of the reasons why I don't really have much of a desire to be a sugar baby anymore is because of how dominant they can tend to be, And I had that issue with one of my sugar daddies, and he just couldn't take no for an answer, so...
We really should do a segment on sugar babies.
Yeah, we should.
We should do that. Okay. So let's see. Let's go over consent. Let's hit our points again, okay? So, consent. When someone says yes to an act or they want to participate in an act. For example, and I'm going to use LARP as an example because I love this about LARP, and maybe I actually use this in my day-to-day life. It actually is kind of funny. You might see me do it. So...
If I haven't already.
Yeah. So, in LARPing, we have a method that is, like, green, yellow, red. It's the stoplight system. I use the same thing for kink. You know, if, let's say, me and Ashley, once again, we're dating. Are you excited? We're dating.
Excited. I'm in
And-
a relationship.
Oh my God! Okay.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Anyway, back to the story.
So, and we're at the movies. And I put my arm around her because I have level 2 consent. And I sit there and we're at the movies, we're getting cozy and that kind of thing. And I start kissing her forehead and kissing her neck. And then I whisper, "Am I green?" Green means, are you good to go? Now, she can say, and this is a good way to do it without being so weird, like, "Can I kiss you?" You know, I know people are afraid of being awkward, but like, "Am I green?" And she goes, "Yes." Okay, but, go back to this.
Go back to the arm.
But if she is, you know, what happens if she says yellow?
Yellow.
Then that means she is okay with it, but go slow with it. Okay? Okay. So that means, like, I can kiss her head. She doesn't want anything intense. She just wants simple and light and go slow with it. Okay? Now, if I'm doing the same thing, same scenario, and I go in to kiss her and then kiss her neck, say red.
Red. Simultaneously.
Everything stops automatically. And I'm going to use it what I use in kink. Okay? And me and my husband use this too. So I have 3 safe words that stand for green, yellow, red. You know, and I feel like everyone can do this. So if you're having relations with somebody and you want to swap positions, you can say, like, it's because I know there's sometimes in heats of passion where no really doesn't mean no. I know this because there's that old Southern way of flirting, like, "Oh no, honey."
You're stupid.
Exactly. Or when people yell no in a moment of ecstasy. Okay? So, or yes in a moment of ecstasy or whatever. Sometimes communication gets a little weird when passion and genitalia is involved. So, if you're enjoying yourself, you know, and you want more, harder, you're okay with swapping positions, you're okay with the scene, which is what we call a sex session, the scene in kink. I say, gummy bears. You ain't never gonna yell gummy bears in the middle of a sex session. Just saying. Okay. Okay. But if it's starting to get too much, or it starts hurting, or things along those lines,
It's uncomfortable.
exactly. You see,
Just don't like what's going on.
exactly. You need to swap positions. Your legs falling asleep. Okay. I throw up the yellow signal, which is sprinkles. I like sprinkles. Sprinkles.
Sprinkles.
Exactly. And that means take it slow. Okay? I'm not really sure about this. It's really used for experimentation, new positions, new activities, whatever they might be.
I would say like bubbles. 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 Stop.
Do the
Bubbles.
do the Power Puffs.
Right. Bubbles.
And then turn around, and if there's something that I'm completely not okay with, like, at all, it's freaking ice cream. And I use those words. For example, you might have seen this the other day. We were at my little sister's gender reveal. Someone went to hug me. And I think it was my mom or something. And I was in the middle of doing something. And I go, ice cream. That meant no. And and some people get really upset when they hear no. Because they have rejection issues. So ice cream or gummy bears when I'm done. So that means it's okay when I'm done. Okay. So I would really talk to your partner and consent when it comes to getting distracted by cats.
See, she just told me no. I tried to pick her up. She didn't give me consent.
Exactly. And the thing is, we should ask for consent about everything. That's true, in my opinion. Especially when it comes to kids. Because now, with the LOL dolls and everything else.
Oh my goodness.
Did you see that?
Yes, they are something. But the thing, I think they're trying to make it where the doll, like, stands up and the little button was right here. So, like, when they sit down, it makes the noise. It was just... like, y'all could have did something else.
But no, also with the LOL dolls, when you stick them in cold water, they have stripper clothing on.
What?
And
There's
also,
2 different things?
Yes. And then turn around with
Ruining our kids.
Exactly. And then with the LOL dolls, not to mention they have stripper clothes on, but they also have little, like, pedophile symbols on their back and, like, wear as necklaces. Because for parents who are paying attention, there is a heart. There's a big heart and then a little heart in it. That means an adult pedophile is in a sexual relationship with a young minor. And they're putting these on dolls.
And they're obsessed with them. Like, so crazy.
So, I highly encourage parents to, if you're going to get a toy for your kid, make sure it's not part of the Jeffrey Epstein pedophile conditioning thing. Because they're really trying to condition these girls to be okay with sexual, like... The conspiracy goes deep, guys. The conspiracy goes deep.
Oh, and the list. About that Jeffrey Epstein list. There's way more. Y'all haven't seen nothing. Let's put that out there.
And I don't care if they're Democrat, Liberal, Republican, or or who the hell they are. Poor, rich, anything along those lines. If they're on that list, they need to go to jail. I saw something earlier today. It was a TikTok that was like, Bill Clinton's probably on that list. He probably is.
You think he isn't? What?
He probably is. But the Trump supporter says that. And then the Democrat goes, he needs to go to jail. Trump supporter goes, but that's your golden boy. It doesn't matter. He's still a pedophile. He needs to go to jail.
But see, the thing about it is if you take one down, you have to take everyone down. And they're not going to do that. So
including the President of the United States.
This now the video's about, so I'm not going to talk too much about that.
Side note. But. What?
Nothing.
You're so funny.
Nothing at all. But
we will find out.
We're pretty much done, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think we covered everything.
We covered the unconsciousness, the levels of consent.
Yes. I'm trying to think of
flirting is not consent.
Right.
Breathing is not consent. Don't touch people.
Yes, don't touch people you don't know.
They might give you corona.
Or a black eye.
Exactly. Have you ever been in a situation where no one asked for consent?
What do you mean? As far as, like, in a public setting?
Yeah.
Where someone just kind of, yes, a few times. Where, like, I was either in line or something of the nature. May have been shopping and they just kind of either brushed by me or it's just, you shouldn't have touched me. Simple.
I was, actually a good example of this is, I was getting ice cream the other day in the grocery store, standing in front of the freezer aisle, being indecisive as hell. And this guy literally was like, "Excuse me, darling," pushes me out of the way, grabs his ice cream, drops his hand from my waist, and then winks at me and walks away. Pin stab. Don't do that.
And also, This doesn't really come with consent, but catcalling is something that can fall down and trickle down to the consent part.
That's sexual harassment.
Yeah, that's sexual harassment. If you just continue catcalling, like, I understand if you're trying to hop down on somebody or talk to somebody, telling them they're beautiful or something, but if they reject you, don't keep trying. Just accept that rejection.
That's harassment. But that covers about consent. We should do another episode that covers sexual harassment, too. But that's about it.
I'm done if you're done.
I'm good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, just to let you know, you can still order the Witch Talk mystery boxes. You just go to Whispering Hollow. Just send her a message and let her know that. There's going to be more Witch Talk merchandise coming out. We want to say thank you so much, Ashley, for joining us. And her wonderful, wonderful, I just love you so much. You should come more often.
I'm going to try.
Yeah.
I have to visit you once you leave me.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, I am actually going to be moving in the next couple of days.
Family? You haven't told your online family.
Well, they know I'm leaving, but they just don't know when. But we actually have a move date. It's going to be early September. I am going to our new home. Later this month. I have to sit there and think about it. It's going to be probably the 20th. So I will post videos, but to let you guys know, I might not be putting out as much content during those times. There's some content that I'll release, but it won't be everything. So just to give you guys a heads up. And I will let you know, confirm time when I'll be out and when I'll be back to be able to get some live stuff. But, don't forget you can order merchandise also from, Lunar Designs, Lunar Witch Designs. They have some really cool stuff out there, and she can pretty much make anything you want, by the way. I think we're done.
I think we're done.
Thank you guys so much for tuning into Witch Talk. You have a great day. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again.